So hello, I think we're live. Let's see. I'm just waiting for one more step. But yeah, welcome everyone. Welcome again to Benny's World. Today we're talking about gratitude. Let me just let's see. On YouTube we're live. On X it is live now. Let me post this here. Here's some typing here. Just making a little post here. Um, So we're talking about gratitude. If you have any comments or ideas about the topic, let me know, and I will try to get your feedback in this feed as well. Um, so this is now on Twitter as well. I've posted it out, so you can check the post. Let's see. This should be on Instagram. That's not going to work for now. Okay. Well, we are live on X and we are live on YouTube. You can find our YouTube channel in. Um, you can find our YouTube channel under the name of Via Stoica. You just Google for that. So Via Stoica. And if anyone's here listening, you can leave a comment there. I think I should be able to see it this time around. Last time I couldn't because I wasn't looking at it. So this is all still kind of new. So yeah, we are live on YouTube and on Twitter. So if anyone is here, leave a little comment on X, or you can find me on YouTube. Let me just quickly check it there. I wanted to try Instagram today as well, but that didn't work. So that's just all part of the game. So yeah, welcome anyone. This is something that I've been doing for the last couple of weeks, going live every Wednesday. I like it. I see, hey, Street Stoics, yo, the Street Stoics podcast. Check out the Street Stoics podcast. We've got a really great episode live with Alberto Daniel Hill. He talks about his story, which is pretty incredible. So check that out. On Street Stoics podcast. You can find that on, well, any podcast device that you have. So thanks for the shout out there, Street Stoics on X. So yeah, this is something that I've been doing. I'm currently in Ecuador and I'm in a really nice place. It's calm. It's just for myself. So it's the perfect surrounding to kind of test and try and do these things. Let me see if this is actually, wait, this is not working. I think it's better like this. I'm just gonna. Hopefully, everybody can still hear me using the device. I was just hearing myself double with the headset. So, um, yeah, we are. So this is something that I've been trying for the last couple of weeks. I've been really enjoying it, to be honest. It's a good fun to just have a nice conversation about some topics here, and you can join me as well. So today we're talking about gratitude. If you have some things, if you are watching me on X, sometimes I look to the right or maybe your left. It's because I have the X thing open there, so I can read your comments. So if you have any comments, please let me know. Um, and if you are on YouTube, you can let me know there as well. So we're talking about gratitude today. This is going to take maybe 15 to 30 minutes a max, and then I'll let you on your merry way again. So why am I doing this? First, it's just kind of for me myself to practice a little bit, but also to have this kind of conversations with everybody here, and to talk about something that is important to me, close to my heart: stoicism, living better, having this good life. So yeah, welcome everybody for joining me. So we're talking about gratitude, which is an important topic to me, right? And I'll go to a few things. I'll look at what it is, why it is important, how it really impacted my life, and how I try to really implement it to help me find more peace. So that's something that I'm doing here. So again, if you have any comments, if you want to, I see Stoic Bryce. Bryce is there. Yo, Stoic. Hey, it sounded a little bit similar to Street Stoics there, but awesome. So good to see you there. Um, so gratitude, right? What is gratitude and why is it important? Gratitude is this real sense of being here in the present, right? Being in the now and finding grateful, gratitude, thankfulness, right? Appreciation, or just this giving yourself this little moment to be here and to kind of take check and take stock of what's going on, right? I think that that's why it's really important to have this kind of sense of gratitude and to practice it actively, and you can do that at every moment. So I think for me, well, for me, that is really the key essence to something like gratitude. To practice it, to sometimes reflect, and people who follow me, they see that I write these, my reflections every morning and every evening. I try to do it all. I've been doing this for almost when did I start my X account? On February 2022. So almost 2.5 years now, where I've been writing every morning and every evening. I think about 80% of the time we've been doing it for both times of the day. But I've been doing it pretty much for every day that I wrote something, and that really helps me to kind of ground myself, to focus a little bit on what I'm doing, how I feel. Like for example, if you read mine from tomorrow this morning, you can see that I didn't sleep very well, but I still try to practice to focus on what I need to do. And at one point, I did fall back asleep. So these are really my thoughts and things that I'm expressing there. And I do express a lot of gratitude in there. Like for example, people might follow me. I am traveling, right? I'm currently in Ecuador. I'm house sitting. I'm going to different places, meeting different people, spending time with different animals. For example, today or now these weeks, I have two lovely dogs that I'm accompanying, or maybe they are keeping me company, and we go on lovely walks and all that stuff. And so I'm very grateful to be here in the moment, and that's something that I've really practiced throughout this last maybe year and a half, 2 years since I started really traveling and doing all of this stuff. So what is gratitude? If we look at the definition, gratitude is a sense of thankfulness, a sense of being here in a moment, but also a force or a movement to show kindness to yourself and to the world around you, right? Because you are grateful for what you have, you are thankful for the things that you have right now, and it means that you're not necessarily striving for things that are out there, right, outside of your control. And that comes, then we tie it back to that stoic point of view, where we look at that dichotomy of control, right? What is under your control and what isn't? And the Stoics and Stoicism, the only point of time that we can control is the now. It's this moment, right? And that's why gratitude is really practiced in this moment. We can say, I'm grateful for my past. Wonderful, right? That's a really good practice. But I'm sure there's going to be things in that past that you're not completely grateful for. But we can practice that gratefulness for that gratitude for the past if we say, I'm grateful for the past because it made me who I am today, right? And if we then practice gratitude in now, or the appreciation and that kindness and compassion to ourselves, then we can say, I am grateful for my past because I'm grateful for who I am today. And of course, there are things that I want to improve, there are things that I want to make better, but I am here right now, and this is good. So we can connect that, right? Gratitude for the future is unknown. That is quite difficult because we don't know if there is a future, right? We can see that in the Stoics. They mention it very quickly, often, and some of the ways that they say is that if you wake up in the morning, just be grateful that you have another day, because that wasn't a given. And that's why they have these journaling techniques in the evening, where they say, um, if this were the last day, it could well be that you would not will not wake up in the morning. It could well be, right? There's it's we don't know, right? So that's the sense of being, again, that's why it's difficult to show that gratitude for the future, right? Because we don't know if it's there. We can work towards something, right? But gratefulness and that thankfulness, that appreciation is really built in the now, and that's something that when we talk about stoicism, and people, they often have these kind of different ideas about stoicism, but when we try to compare it with other philosophies, we can look at Buddhism, right? We can look at Taoism, which are very, very grounded in the now, right? Even certain religions, they have that focus on what is now in the present, and that's really important to have and to think about, right? That's all what it boils down to. So again, That's, that's where it really ties in with Stoic philosophy and that Stoic belief. And it's a continuous practice, that mindfulness. So why has it become important to me? I think that that's also something to look into, right? And just to kind of give a little bit of my journey, my experience in this, and maybe that'll help. And again, if anyone is watching me on YouTube, if you have any comments there, or if you have things on X, if you're looking at watching my video on X, you can leave comments under the stream. Um, I will check those comments, and if you have any questions or if you have any takes on it, then please let me know. I see on YouTube, I see Bryce. He says Stoics even have gratitude that they have an opportunity to deal with our life challenges using the gifts of the logos. Yeah, and that's perfect, right? That's a very good take. That um, we have everything right now, right? And that's why we need to have this gratitude for the now, is because we have everything right now that we need to deal with the present, right? We have all the tools and the skills that we need right now, and we talked about this in some of the spaces that we hold on X. If you're watching on YouTube, we do have weekly spaces on X. Um, so if you want to join us there, you can find us again with Via Stoica as well, or me, Bryce, or Brendan. You can follow us there. But we have all the tools right now. We talked about this, like the development of skills, the improvement of the self, the attainment of tools that we need to live, right? But that's focused on something in the present, right? Because we're trying to build ourselves up to something. But if we look at the right now, we have all the tools that we need right now to deal with the present, right? Because we don't have any other tools, right? We have to make do with what we have. We have to make the best out of it, of what we have. So yeah, we have those. We have the opportunity to deal with the moment, and that's the challenge that we want to have, right? That's the challenge that will help us and that will, make us live better. So thanks for that there in the YouTube channel. Again, if you want to add something, comments there in the chat there, or under the post that I put out, you can do that. So what has changed? Why is gratitude, that real appreciation, or that real um, mindful attitude towards gratitude, how has that changed me, right? That's something that I think is important to look into and to discover as well. um, so for me, um, as a traveler, as having these, contacts with people, like I meet people here and there as I travel. Some of these connections are quite flighty, but even here on social media, I have made some great friends that I consider great friends, among which are Bryce and Brendan. And but even with my family, like I'm not there. I'm traveling around. I've lived abroad for over 14 years right now, so that's why it is sometimes difficult to keep those connections up, or maybe to miss people, and to have to keep like to question your life, right? And this is something that I've questioned a lot about my traveling, and Seneca helped me with asking the right questions there. But for example, one quote is like, you wonder why your travels do you no good, while you're saddled with the very thing that you're trying to get away from, right? So for me, when I think about gratefulness or gratitude in the moment with connections, right? Because the Stoics are very clear, we do live an individual life, right? Because we are the only one who occupies our mind, and we're the only ones who can control the mind and our actions. But we do live in a community, right? We are connected with society, and that is really, really important. So when I look at that, I try to be the best person who I am, but I'm also trying to be social and trying to have those contacts, trying to interact with people. But I know that at one point I will probably leave, right? That's the wonderful thing about social media, where when I started traveling, and I even went before, like in 2006, I went to Malaysia for about 6 months for an internship for my college, and I was, that was back in the day when I think Skype was just developing, right? The video calls were just kind of showing up, and I was having conversations with my parents, and most of those conversations was me trying to explain to them how to work this stuff, right? How to use um, the tools. So we had videos where the video was upside down or where it was completely blue or there was no sound. So we had to like, and I think that this was before WhatsApp as well. So we were kind of chatting in the background on some other platform. So this really helped, to make communication so much faster, right? I can video call my parents now easily just using my phone and WhatsApp or whatever, or FaceTime or whatever tool you have. These things right now, I'm on YouTube, I'm on X, so it is really great to have those kind of tools now available, which also makes it easy to establish that content and to keep it right, to make sure that you do the necessary work to keep those connections. But what I've really, noticed and really practiced last time around, like the first time, like there was a stint where I was at my parents' place for 7 months last year, and before that, I went to visit one of my best friends in the U.S., to go to Mexico, Costa Rica, and I met a lot of people, right? And at one point, I told myself, yes, this is great, right? That I'm traveling around a lot, but there is this, it is always kind of difficult to say goodbye, and sometimes after I left people, I it felt like I wasn't there, right? It felt like this mist, this kind of haze. I don't know if anyone else who's listening had that feeling where you do something and then it's gone, and then you it's like it never really happened. It's like this dream, right? So what I really started to practice was in that moment when I was with people, just even in a conversation, just to take a second, just to take this little moment. It's like, wow, this is great, right? I'm meeting with someone that I really appreciate, that I care about, that I love, and we have a great conversation, and I get to experience this moment. And instead of having it pass real quickly and having it go here and there, no, I take this little moment, even in that conversation, even there, and I say, this is great. And if I then have to say goodbye, which with my lifestyle is quite common, right? At least I had that moment, and that's something that I carry with me. And for example, as I mentioned, I spent like 7 months with my parents, right, in last year, and my parents are still here. I'm very fortunate to have them still with me. They're already older, and I had moments where at breakfast, right, and it's nice to experience your family or your loved ones, apart, especially your parents, right? Outside of your childhood, you can get to see them with adult eyes. You can experience them in a different way, and that was great. And I used to just sit there, and my sister was there as well, one of my sisters, and it was just, yeah, you just sat there while they were having a great chat. They were having it like this, conversation, just joking around, or a serious conversation or whatever. And I used to take my time and just sit there, and it's like, wow, this is special, right? This is very fortunate that I can experience this, because I know that many others can't. And that's something that I really took to heart. And then anytime that I would have if I were to be in a hostel and I would, have great conversations with people, yeah, excellent, right? And as long as that conversation lasted, and as long as that period, that connection lasted, that was great. And then afterwards, yeah, we go a merry way. I've met so many people and traveled so many, that at the beginning, when you travel and you meet new people, it's like, oh, we're going to be in touch forever, right? We're going to be in touch for an entire lifetime. And then it kind of, people's lives continue, right? You go your way, you go that way, and that's not bad, right? That's not something that's wrong. Those connections, they will stay if they're really meant to be, and if not, then we have to let them go, right? That's perfectly fine. I think that that's something that we have to get used to a little bit more when we are living, right? And the same thing with, and this is just my example as traveling, right? It really enhanced my experience as I'm going through life, but we're all going through this journey, right? I might be moving more geographically, right? I don't have a house, I don't have all these, but we might be moving more geographically. I might be moving more geographically, but we're still all on this journey. People come and go. Whether you stay fixed, other people will come and go. So we all have to practice this, right? And by doing so, and by also remembering that Stoic principle of memento mori, right? Remember that we will die. That's not just for us, right? It's not just like, oh, remember, I will die, I need to live. No, but the people around us as well, right? The people around us, they can leave us at any moment, and the moment that we won't expect. So I think that is important to keep in mind as well. That it's not nothing is permanent, right? There's always this change. But if we learn to take those moments and really appreciate the time when we have the people, the life that we have right now, then we can, hmm, then it's going to be easier for us to let them go. Why? Because we really use that time. We can say, okay, it's sad, and it's fine to be sad, right? Being sad is something very normal. But we can let them go because we've really used the time, right? We've really had that moment with them. We spend the time with them, and I think that that is something that is important to remember. That is something that is important to focus on, right? And just see how they enriched our life. People can only enrich our life as we really take it in what they do and what they say. So that's almost about 20 minutes of me just talk. If anyone has something to mention, like I don't know if people are still watching me on X. I see some people maybe on YouTube. If you have any comments or questions or takes or views, let me know. I've figured out how to actually see them this time around. I see it's two comments there, one by Street Stokes and one by Bryce, and one by Bryce on YouTube. So thanks, Bryce, for being there for the support. But yeah, and this is something that I'm grateful for as well. And we can find it anywhere, right? We can find it at any moment, at any time, just to find things to be grateful for. And it's a beautiful thing because then you start to see life and the world in a different way. If you look at it flighty, right? And I mean, what I mean by that, if you're always um, chasing, or if you always have the urge to go for something else, right? This wants and desires, like if your mind is always stuck on a goal. For example, I want to have this kind of career, I want to have this position here, I want to have this much money, then you're not living right now, because you're always connected with something in the future. You're always connected with something that is not here right now. And I think that that is important to remember, that we it's good to have goals, right? It's good to have a direction, it's good to focus on something, but that shouldn't take away from living right now. And I think that that is something that we should all look into a little bit more. Like, where is your mind, right? Where is your mind looking at? Is it looking at the future? Is it looking at what you need to do right now? And we can switch, right? We can we talk about multitasking a lot, and multitasking is basically just the better you do it. Multitasking is the better your mind can switch from one activity to the next. But we can also switch our ideas, and we can when if we do that in a healthy way, in a proper way, then we can look back at the past, we can try to take the lessons from it, we can look at the future, try to plan our life, try to give it a sense of direction, of actions to take, or where to go, what kind of job do we want to do, for example, here with on X, or um, what I'm doing with this with this feed, but also what we're doing with Via Stoica, Brendan, Bryce, and I. That has a sense of direction, right? We want to help people. We want to, that's why we have the life coaching, the Stoic life coaching offers. That's why we have all these other things that we offer, the spaces, the podcasts, right? Street Stoics, and that is something that we have this sense of directions, like this is what we want to do, this is where we want to go, and we want to give back, right? And that's good to have. It's good to have a vision of life, but it shouldn't be something that takes over the moment, right? We should be able to switch. Yes, this is where I want to go, but now I need to focus right here. And that focus, that can really help us, bring us out of that. Maybe you're ruminating over the past, or you're worried about the future, right? And if you feel like you're doing that, just take a second, right? Take a deep breath and just look at the present. Look at the moment where you are right now. And then if you are really worried, just take stock of what you have, right? Maybe write it down, like, oh, look at all the things that I have, all the people around me, all the good stuff that I bought, or that I can use and that make my life better. And all the things that I don't have, I don't, why should I worry about that stuff? I'm just looking at what I have right now. And that can really help us, take us out of maybe moments of worry, or if you're struggling with anxiety, or whatever you're kind of struggling with, maybe the big questions of life, that you have a project and it's so big you can't, it's so overwhelming. Just focus on on this moment. Just focus on the action that you need to take right now. And that is important. That's the same thing. Like yesterday, I was struggling to fall asleep, and at one point I said, okay, all these thoughts, all these things that I'm thinking about and worried about, I can't do anything about it right now. And that's my main action should be to fall asleep, to sleep. You know, it's not as easy. I wish it was to just say that, oh, I should sleep right now and fall asleep. That doesn't work that way, but it does help um, change your mind to something else. It takes you out of that worry, out of that anxiety, and you can do that by writing, or you can just do that by sitting somewhere and taking it easy. So, yeah, that's kind of the thoughts on gratitude, on being thankful. And after the stream, or maybe even during the stream, if you watch this, just take a second, take a moment, and think about what you're grateful for. What is it that you really um, um, value in life? What is the priorities, right? And look at them, what you have right now. What is important to you in life? Is it um, is it your job? Is it how you live? Is it the social connections, your family, your loved ones, right? Is that really important to you? Or what else do you value? That's a really good and important thing to just think about and reflect on. So yeah, the stream is about to it's almost 30 minutes. Yeah, a few more minutes, and then, so I appreciate everybody for looking. If you still have some comments, let me know. I did figure out how I can actually see the comments on X. So if you want to mention something there, just give me a shout out. Um, but yeah, um, I think that's it. I think that we're going to round it up. This was a third kind of episode on Benny's World, something that I just named this way. Let's see how it develops. Let's see where it goes. Let's see how much how often I'll keep doing it. Um, but yeah. Anyway, thanks everybody for watching, for being here. Hopefully, this helped you a little bit looking at topics like this, from a different light. Something like gratitude, appreciation, thankfulness, right? To make you focus a little bit more on the now. And remember, those practices we can do at any moment, right? We can just take a second and focus on what you have right now. And I think those are great tools to have. So anyway, again, thank you everybody for joining. Just checking if there are comments here. Nope, that's perfectly fine. I'm grateful for everybody who was here watching, and even for those who weren't watching. Hopefully, everybody is having a great time. And I'll be back next week with a topic. If you have certain topics that you'd like me to talk about, send it over. All right, let me know. And for the time being, I'm going to, yeah, end the live stream at the moment. So thank you very much. Have a great rest of the day wherever you are. Remember, we have a couple of things from Via Stoica. We have the podcast, Street Stoics. We have a great episode out where we have an interview with Alberto Daniel Hill, who was the first Uruguayan hacker to be wrongly arrested for hacking a government system where they didn't commit. So check that out there on Street Stoics, the podcast. A great episode. We have the spaces, right? So on Thursday, which is for people watching it live, tomorrow we have at 10 a.m. Eastern, that's 7 a.m. Pacific. We have the Be Stoic space with the Boggles on Me, and we have Saturday the Stoic workshop with Bryce. Um, We have a question here by Shimoshi. What is Stoics? Stoic is a philosophy of life. You can check out my profile. You can go to viastoica.com. There is a blog there, and we have a lot of things written about what is Stoicism. But Stoicism, very briefly, is a Hellenistic philosophy that helps you live a better life by focusing on what is what is under your control, following your nature, and living virtuous. Right? Virtue is the only good. Virtue is wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. And if you follow those concepts and just try to do your best every day to be a better person, that is, and there's a little bit more to it, but that's pretty much Stoicism in a nutshell. So it's a good philosophy of life. We do have those spaces. So Saturday we have the Stoic workshop with Bryce at 11 a.m. Pacific. And then on Tuesdays, I host the Stoic Space on 11 a.m. Pacific as well, where we just take a general topic of life and I look at it through a Stoic lens and see how it can improve our life. So if you are interested in finding out more about Stoicism, check it out there. But for now, I am going to call it a day, and I'm going to thank everybody for joining me, for watching, and hopefully we will see you next week. So have a great rest of the day and see you later.